So although we have a lot of different menus up here, throughout this course we're only going to be using a few of them because there's certain things that we'll just never need to use, like animation or surfacing, things like that. So mostly we're going to be working with the File, Edit, Modify, Create, maybe Display and Window menus, and everything else we'll be using the Select, actually, and the Mesh and Edit Mesh. And occasionally dipping into some of these other ones, but for the most part not. So don't be too intimidated by the fact that we have all these menus in addition to all these menus and so forth. There really is just a few menus that we'll be using, although those menus do have quite a bit of tools in them. But we'll go through those as we work through the course. So do remember that we can always access them up here or through the hotbox. Occasionally I'll work through the hotbox, but I'll try to use these up here for the most part because you're probably more familiar with that style of working. So the File menu has a lot of the options that you'd see in any other software package, which is opening work, starting a new document, or in this case a scene, saving your scene. We have the option to export things out of Maya independent from the scene. So you could create a cube and just export that cube into its own file. Recent files, we'll talk about projects and referencing and things like this. And then of course here's the way you exit Maya, which you can also do of course just by hitting the X up there. So the edit tool gets more into editing things in Maya, and we'll talk about these as we need to. Modify, sort of the same. The create menu is unique because this is where you actually create things to put into your scene. For example, creating a cube like I did before. So this is the default setup for Maya in terms of how you create things. It asks you to actually drag out a sort of square rectangle shape, and then it asks you to extrude it upwards like this. I don't like that. I typically don't work like that, and when we get to the preferences section I'll talk about how we can toggle that to work differently. In fact, I've got a marking menu that I use. Well, I'll have to load it up in the other copy of Maya, Maya 2012, and I can show you the difference there.